Om Namo Bhagavate Ramakrishnaya for Seekers of God. Spiritual Talks of Mahapurush Swami Shivananda, Chapter 83, page number 227, episode 191. Swamiji's fervor in speaking of Christ at Artpur. Place Belur Mutt, time December 25th, 1929. Christmas Eve had been appropriately observed the night before. In the visitors' room downstairs, the picture of Virgin Mary, Mother Mary, with the divine child in her arms was tastefully decorated with leaves, flowers and garlands, and cakes, sweets, etc. were offered. In addition to the monastic members of the mutt, many lay devotees also had joined in the function. After the portion that dealt with the advent of Jesus and with his message had been read from the Bible, some senior monks spoke impressively about him, about Jesus Christ. Mahapurushji could not be personally present there, but he had a very detailed report of the ceremony and expressed great delight. As the sannyasins and brahmacharins began to gather in his room this morning, he greeted them all one by one with Happy Christmas. In connection with the Christmas Eve celebration the previous evening, Mahapurush Maharaj remarked, "This ceremony started from the old Baranagar days. A few days after the master had passed away, a few days after Sri Ramakrishna had passed away, the mother of Baburam Maharaj, Swami Premananda, invited us to her village home at Artpur. Swamiji took us all to Artpur. Our hearts were then afire with renunciation. We felt great agony of sorrow at the loss of our master, at the loss of Sri Ramakrishna, and all were engaged in intense spiritual practices. The only thought we had during those days, and the only effort we made, was for the realization of God and the attainment of peace. When we were at Artpur, we applied ourselves much more intensely to spiritual practices. We would light a fire with logs under the open sky and spend the nights there in japa and meditation. Swamiji would talk with us fervently about renunciation and self-sacrifice. Sometimes Swamiji would make us read the Gita, the Bhagavata, the Upanishads, etc., and hold discussions on them. Thus we spent some days. One night we sat near the log fire, absorbed in meditation. After a long time, Swamiji broke silence all of a sudden, and as though in an inspired mood, he went on talking about Jesus Christ with the utmost devotion. Swamiji spoke about the intense spiritual practices, burning renunciation and message of Jesus, and above all, his realization of unity with God. This Swamiji did with such spirit, enthusiasm and lucidity of expression that we were all struck dumb. It seemed to us, for the time being, that it was none other than Christ himself who spoke to us through Swamiji's mouth. And as we heard, we floated on a current of bliss, as it were. The only idea that reigned supreme in our hearts was that we must realize God, however hard the struggle might be, and must become one with Him, and must become one with God, for all else mattered little. It was Swamiji's habit that whenever he took up a topic, he would follow its implications to their utmost. To be continued. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Tat Sat. Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.